We live in a social media world. It's a fact, but many of us find the world of things like Facebook and Twitter incredibly intimidating, if not completely foreign. Our next guest is here to help us survive in this new era of communication. She's Sherry Madia, and we are happy to have her joining us again as part of our book author series to talk about her book, The Social Media Survival Guide. Everything you need to know to grow your business exponentially with social media. Welcome back to the show, Sherry.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, the world of social media, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, although I'm dating myself even by saying MySpace. Do you consider this an exciting time for the world of communication?
Fabulously exciting time. And as a communications professor, it's like Christmas morning over and over again, because it's filled with opportunities to really expand and grow and explore the way in which we communicate, mass communicate, and niche market communicate in very different ways. So it's tremendously exciting.
Now, this book that you've written, it's all about helping people grow their business exponentially. So the social media from the business perspective. Can things like social media, the Facebook, the Twitter, can effective communication really help grow your business?
Absolutely, and there's a couple of distinctions to be made. So there's what we're finding is that people's use of social media personally is really beginning to collide with what's happening professionally, and that's one of the risks that, you know, is an ongoing discussion and exploration. But in terms of growing a business exponentially, it goes back to some of the basics, which is what's your objective, know your audience, and you know, really getting a sense of what's palatable to them, because we need to keep in mind a couple of things. One, the social media history of the world is only 6 years old.
Right.
So there's a lot that we really haven't landed yet in many ways. But what we do know is that now that we've begun to engage with consumers in a different way, there's an appetite for it. And so there's a great deal of opportunity.
Well, people almost expect it these days. Consumers almost expect businesses to have social media up and running, social media sites.
They do, and that's leading, in fact, to a lot of companies making missteps and running a little too fast at it because they feel that they have to, but they're not quite sure what to do once they get into that space.
Once they get into the world.
And so it's important for companies to plan first. And companies, you know, it can be a single entrepreneur, a small business, it can be B2B, it can be B2C, but it's important to plan first and really get a sense of what can each of these social media tactics and strategies do for them ahead of time. So plan before you jump right in.
How can you help people like me and business owners who have people that are running the business who are completely intimidated? How can you help us navigate these waters?
Right. Well, it first starts with explaining what social media is. In fact, it's funny, I was talking with a woman the other day who said, I have a Facebook page for my business and I started to tweet, and that's great. And I said, well, I have a book on social media. Oh, can you tell me what exactly social media is? And interestingly, so I thought, well, we do have a lot of work to do, and it's true. So we really want, social media really is about finding ways to create new touch points. So it's about shareability, it's about flexibility, it's about finding ways to engage in different ways. And social media can really help to engage consumers by having them vote in a poll, having them rate products. You know, once we've started to join the conversation, we're not really going to stop.
So if a business owner is thinking about getting involved in the world of social media, where do they start if they have no idea?
Well, the first place to start is to listen. So tune into groups, do a simple search, a Google search or a search in Twitter or Facebook to find groups that exist that are selling the product that you're selling, offering the service and so forth. So you can really get a sense of where their heads are in terms of what they want and need. And then start small and see how it goes and build up a following. It's not necessarily about quantity, large numbers, tens of thousands. You know, maybe it's just 100 people who are really great opinion leaders. And then the other thing important to keep in mind is that social media, while it takes under a minute to sign up for a Twitter account, it takes just the same amount of time as any other tactic to really let it grow. And so it's a commitment. A lot of companies run out into Facebook and create what we call social media blight, where they set up their accounts and they find they don't have time for it. And that's something that we want to avoid. The best bet is to really understand what it is, which is a commitment, and it's a tactical way to really engage consumers in order to be really effective on behalf of the
So they're actually having to communicate.
They have to communicate.
And people are creating their own brands through that now. I mean, you see the president, you see musicians, you see everybody kind of creating a world in cyberspace that kind of is a representation of who they are.
Right, and the important thing there is that it's all about authenticity. And so when companies, when individuals step into that space and try to create a persona that doesn't align with what's happening in real life,
right,
what's happening elsewhere, that's when we see the problems start to erupt, because the public is savvy, and we know real when we see it. And so if somebody's blogging, this was a case with Britney Spears, in fact, who, you know, I'm tweeting, it's me, and the public realized it wasn't in fact her, and they're okay with that. But it's about being real and being authentic.
Say it's not you. Say it's my PR person, or it's an assistant, or something.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating world. It'll be interesting to see 20 years from now, when this younger generation, when they start running companies and when they start running for office, all of the things that they've got on their Facebook pages now, it's going to live there forever.
For sure. It's a sticky space out there, and you have to be cognizant of that when you're posting, you know, photos and so forth, that it's out there. It's hard to pull it back.
It's hard to bring it back in. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You've helped me this morning because, like I said, I'm intimidated by all the social media that's out. But thank you for helping.
Thank you.
If you would like more information, or if you would like a copy of the Social Media Survival Guide, you can check out socialmediasurvivalguide.com.